I used to think my father was the kind of man other men aspired to become, until the night he pointed a gun at his own son. You never forget the house you were kicked out of. 15 years later, the boards still creaked the same way beneath my boots. The paint peeled, the porch sagged, and the same rusted wind chime, Mom's favorite, hung beside the front door. It chimed softly in the breeze, a ghost of gentler times. Willow Street hadn't changed much. But I had. I came back because she was gone. My mother. They told me she died in her sleep, peaceful, no pain. That's what they always say when someone dies suddenly, and no one wants to ask questions. But something about it, it never sat right with me. The moment I stepped inside the house, the air felt heavy, like it had been holding its breath for years. Dust clung to the light filtering through the curtains. Her scent, vanilla and lavender, still lingered faintly in the air. I stood in the entryway, eyes scanning the walls, the furniture, the same photo frames I remembered from childhood. And then I heard a voice behind me. Didn't think you'd actually come back. I turned. Derek. My brother. Taller now, sharper jawline, but the same hesitant eyes. We hadn't spoken in nearly a decade. The silence between us felt colder than the November wind outside. Neither did I said. Where is he? Out back with the lawyer. Sorting things. I nodded, heading upstairs. My old room was exactly as I'd left it, boxes half unpacked, posters peeling off the walls. But it was her room I was drawn to. The door creaked open. Her bed was perfectly made. Pillows fluffed, blanket folded at the edge. Too perfect. I scanned the room, then stopped. The nightstand drawer was cracked open. Inside, 3 empty pill bottles. No labels. Just numbers etched at the bottom. My gut twisted. She'd been on sleeping meds for years. But not like this. Downstairs, I found Derek in the kitchen nursing a lukewarm mug of coffee. Did Mom seem off before she passed? He looked up slowly. She was tired. Quiet. I thought it was just her age. She ever say anything about changing her will? He froze. He stammered. She mentioned it once. Said she wanted to make things right. I don't know if she followed through. I think she did. And I think Dad destroyed it. Derek didn't respond. Just looked down at his coffee, swirling it slowly. I stepped onto the back porch, heart racing. There he was. Frank Parker. Still tall. Still iron-backed. Still with that commanding presence he wore like armor. He was talking to a man in a charcoal suit, gesturing impatiently with one hand. I don't care what the law says, I heard him mutter. She never signed it. I burned the damn thing. My jaw tightened. The lawyer's voice was quiet, cautious. Frank, that's not how this works. If there's I said it's done. I backed away quietly, heart pounding. He burned her will. That wasn't grief. That was control. I went back inside, into the hallway, and opened the closet. I found it still there, her jewelry box. Inside, a tiny velvet pouch with her wedding ring and a letter. Folded, yellowed, handwritten in ink. Ethan, if something ever happens to me, look for Gloria Mercer. She has the truth. I'm sorry I didn't protect you when I should have. But I see you now. I always did. Love, Mom, my fingers trembled. This wasn't just about death. This was about what came before it, and the man who made it happen. There's a strange feeling that comes when grief gives way to suspicion. Like waking up from a dream where someone's chasing you, except now they really are. The morning after I found Mom's letter, I drove straight into town. Willow Creek hadn't changed. The same diner with the blinking open sign, the same brick courthouse, and just past it, a small building with gold lettering on the window. Gloria Mercer, ESQ, she remembered me the second I walked in. Ethan, she blinked, eyes softening. God, I'm so sorry. Mary adored you. I swallowed hard. She told me to find you. Said you had the truth. Gloria didn't hesitate. She pulled a thick folder from the cabinet and laid it on the desk. She came to me 6 months ago. She was scared. Said Frank threatened her. She drafted a new will, signed, witnessed, fully legal. She wanted everything to go to you. My heart stopped. She flipped to the final page. There was Mom's signature. Dated. Notarized. She didn't want Frank to have control anymore. She wanted the house, the money, everything to be used for something better. I stared at the will. The language was clear. She had left everything to me. Not Derek. Not Frank. Me. And now it was gone. Gloria lowered her voice. She called me in tears the week before she died. Said Frank found out. He was furious. I clenched my fists. Did she say anything else? Only that, if anything happened to her, I should give this to you. She handed me a sealed envelope. Inside was a USB drive. That night, in my old bedroom, I sat at my laptop and opened the only file on it, a recording. It was her voice. If you're hearing this, I couldn't say it out loud. Frank's watching everything. I wanted to leave. I tried. But every time I did, he said he'd ruin Ethan. Said I was lucky he hadn't already. I'm scared. I know I should have left years ago, but I thought I could manage. I was wrong. My vision blurred. I'm tired. But if something happens, please let Ethan know I never stopped loving him. Tell him none of this was his fault. I pressed pause, hands shaking. None of this was your fault. The words looped through my mind like a heartbeat. Later that night, I cornered Derek in the basement, where he was rummaging through boxes of old papers. You knew, didn't you? He looked up. I found her will. I found her recording. His face turned pale. I didn't know everything, he whispered. But I saw bruises. She told me she fell, but it didn't make sense. And Dad, he was different. Controlling. Especially after you left. I nodded slowly. He burned the will, Derek. He made sure everything pointed his way. He lied to the lawyer. He's trying to erase her. Derek looked broken. I didn't want to believe it. But now, I waited. Then quietly he said, he made her rewrite it. I heard him yelling at her one night. Said she owed him everything. That if she didn't fix it, he'd take it out on you. The air between us turned still. What are you going to do? He asked. I stood, chest tight, voice steady. Make it right. Derek grabbed my arm. Be careful. I'm not the one who should be afraid. As I walked away, I heard him whisper, almost too quietly to hear. I think he knows what you've found. I paused, then kept walking, because fear might stop a man once. But when the truth is all you have left, you don't run anymore. Grief gives you silence. But injustice? It gives you fire. After hearing Mom's voice, I couldn't sleep. The house creaked in the dark like it was mourning with me, the wind whispering secrets through the cracks in the windows. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, clutching the USB drive like a lifeline. The next morning, I found Derek in the garage, sitting on Dad's old workbench. His face looked older, somehow worn. He handed me a cardboard box. I found this under Mom's dresser, he said quietly. Figured you should have it. Inside was a small photo album, one I hadn't seen in years. Tucked between pages of birthday pictures and beach trips was a folded scrap of paper. I opened it gently. A letter to me, dated 2 weeks before she died. Ethan, you were always the strong one, even when they called you the troublemaker. I saw your heart. I knew what you were trying to do the night you told me the truth about your father. I should have listened. I'm sorry for not standing beside you then. I'm sorry I let fear win. If you're reading this, it means I didn't get the chance to tell you in person. I never stopped being proud of you. Love, always, Mom. My throat burned. I didn't cry. Not yet. I folded the letter and slipped it into my wallet, close to my heart, where it belonged. Then I said the words I'd been waiting 15 years to speak. I'm confronting him. Derek's eyes widened. You sure? I don't care if he tries to spin it. I've got her will. The recording. Her letter. And now I've got you. He swallowed hard. He'll deny it. He'll twist it all. He always does. Then we'll break him with the truth. Frank was in the backyard, pruning a rose bush like he hadn't just buried his wife and buried the truth even deeper. I walked up and stood just a few feet away. He didn't look up. Shouldn't you be on your way back to California? I'm staying. He scoffed. This house isn't yours. Actually, it is. Legally. Mom signed a new will. Gloria has the paperwork. That made him pause. You're bluffing. I'm not. I also have a recording. Her voice. Saying everything you did. The threats. The manipulation. His face darkened. You don't know what you're talking about. I know you made her sign something while she was dying. I know you scared her into silence. I know she tried to leave, and you tore up the papers. I know. His hand clenched around the pruning shears. He stepped closer. You think you can walk back into my house and take it all? You ran away. No, I said, standing tall. You kicked me out because I saw who you really were. And now everyone else is going to see it too. There was something wild in his eyes, something I hadn't seen since that night years ago. The same fury, the same entitlement. And then he said it. She thought she could take everything and leave me with nothing? I gave her this life. She owed me. I didn't say a word. Just held up my phone. It had been recording the whole time. He froze. You're done, I said. That night, someone broke in. I heard the crash of glass at 2:14 a.m. I jumped out of bed, heart pounding, and grabbed the bat from under my mattress. The intruder was already halfway up the stairs when I met him head-on. Masked, tall, fast, but I fought like hell. We crashed into the banister, knocking over picture frames. I caught a glimpse of his arm, a faded tattoo I recognized from the garage. One of Frank's old friends. Derek burst from his room with a flashlight and swung hard, catching the man in the ribs. He fell and scrambled out the back door. We stood there in the aftermath, adrenaline buzzing, the silence thick. "He sent someone," Derek whispered. I nodded. And for the first time, Derek didn't hesitate. "I recorded something too," he said. "Weeks ago." He was drinking, ranting. I didn't know what to do with it until now. He handed me his phone. We listened together. Frank's voice. She tried to take it all. I told her, "Sign the damn papers or I'll bury Ethan the way I buried her spirit." And she signed. She cried, but she signed. I told her she was nothing without me. My stomach turned. We had enough. And this time we weren't backing down. 2 days later, Frank Parker was arrested. He didn't resist. Didn't say a word. Just stared at me from the front porch as officers led him away in cuffs. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. But then I looked at the space where Mom's roses had once grown, and remembered the bruises. The trial took months. He was charged with forgery, coercion, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy to commit fraud. His lawyer tried to paint it as a misunderstanding. Claimed he was grieving, confused. But the jury wasn't buying it. Not after hearing my mother's voice. Not after Derek testified. Not after the court heard Frank's own confession. When the verdict came, I didn't cheer. I just closed my eyes and let the silence wash over me. Peaceful. That's what they said about her death. But this was the first time it actually felt true. The house was officially mine. But I didn't keep it as a monument to what happened. I kept it as a promise to what comes next. With Derek's help, I restored every corner, ripped out the poisoned roots, and planted something new. Mom's old study became a counseling room. The attic turned into a safe space for women fleeing abusive homes. We called it the Mary Parker Foundation for Survivors of Domestic Abuse. It started small, 2 volunteers, a second-hand desk, and donated blankets. But people came. They always do when they hear truth wrapped in love. Derek came bi-weekly, at first to help fix leaky pipes, but over time just to talk. We didn't force forgiveness. We earned it, one honest conversation at a time. One day he brought his daughter. She ran barefoot through the hallways, laughing like they belonged to her. And maybe now they did. That night, after they left, I sat on the front porch and watched the sun dip behind the trees. I pulled Mom's letter from my wallet and read it again. The ink was fading, but the words still held me. She had seen me, and now I saw her too. Justice didn't erase what we'd lost, but it restored what we thought we'd never get back: truth, dignity, and the power to protect others. I added one last thing to the front gate, a metal sign etched in quiet pride: "Justice lives here." Because sometimes karma doesn't come with fury. Sometimes it comes with rebuilding, with truth, with family, and with finally coming home.